Hello everybody, and today we are here with another board game review. Today we'll be reviewing an elegant game named Azul. Stop laughing.
Assalamu alaikum friends. Today we will be telling you why you should play Azul. Now Azul, those who have been in board games, hobby board games, will be familiar with this name. Those who are not, this video is for you, that why you should be playing this classic abstract game Azul. Since it's an abstract game, so it has no theme, but the closest theme you can think of is that you are laying the tiles in a Portuguese palace. All the textures on the boards, every player has its own player board, and the textures on these boards are inspired from the Portuguese architecture, tile work, and those tiles you will be laying here. Now there are some rules to this tile laying, and those I will quickly explain, maybe not in too much detail, but just to give you a hint that where does the strategy element comes in when you are placing these tiles and why it has become a staple abstract game for families. Okay, Shal, show them the tiles.
The tiles all come in one bag each.
On each of these factory displays, there will be some color tiles available. And what you will be doing on your turn is picking any one color out of a factory display and then taking it into your reserve area. So for example, I will see all the availability of the tiles in a game and then accordingly draft. So there is a drafting element for it. So for example, I decide that I see a majority of, let's say, yellow tiles on this, and I select all the yellow tiles from this box or factory display. But as soon as I take these will go in my stock in any one of these rows that I have. So for example, I decide to take them in the bottom row, whereas anything that I didn't pick up from that particular factory display will go in the discard pile. Now this discard pile has a gameplay element as well, which we will come to just after this turn. So Ishal, then it will be your turn, and Ishal will select similarly one factory display to pick up from and then pick up all the piles. So this is the first half of the game where we are going to pick from these factory displays. Pick up. The game does come with some additional factory displays as well. So based on the number of players, you can actually take out as many factory displays and then set up your game accordingly. Yes, Isha.
I will take.
Only one blue? Alright. Alright. So Ishal took
I don't care.
one light blue
I
and she
don't
placed
care.
it on her table, and anything which she didn't pick up went into the discard pile. Now, once, let's assume each of us kept picking like this. For example, I picked this, Ishal picked, let's say, 2 reds, then I picked, and these will keep on going here, and I picked these.
You know the process.
So let's say it was something like this. As soon as everything is done from here, then the next player has to pick up from the discard pile, and again he or she can select that which color they want. So for example, if it's Ishal's turn, she might think that there are a lot of blues available, so she might decide to pick those up.
I'm not careful when I want to put all these.
So let's say there are these 6 cubes available, and she starts putting them on the 5 row available. The rule is that once a color is in your stock, then you cannot place the same color in any of your other rows. So Ishal has 1 extra, right? So this extra, first of all, for picking up from the discard pile, since she was the first player to pick up from there, she takes a foul token that she's using discarded piles. So these fouls go at the bottom, and any additional tiles, since the rule is that she cannot place this now in any of the other rows, so this will go in the foul row as well, that you have committed a foul. Same will be for me. So for example, if I decide to pick up 2 yellow, I don't have any more yellow space, so picking this up may not be a good strategy for me. Instead, I may pick up these cyan ones, and these go here, 1, 2, 3, but For picking up the third extra one, I would be committing a foul, so it will go in my foul row.
Okay.
Then it will be Ishal turn. Now, Ishal might be thinking of a strategy. What she will be looking at my board, now she has two options, black and yellow. She can see that if she picks up black, she can pick up both because she has not used those colors till now. She can see that, for example, if she picks up black, if she picks up yellow, I would have no problem because then the other player will be picking up black. Show me. Sure. Will be picking up black, and I still have space on the black row. I still can place. So the only fouls I will be committing is this, and I will be completing a big row for me as well. So that's bad. So she might be thinking, no, she will be picking up black, and myself, I will have to pick up yellow. And since I have no place to place the yellows, all of them will commit a foul. So that's how you have to, even though each player is playing on his own board, but which tiles to draft, which tiles you are going to force the other player to pick up, that can actually give you an advantage point by making sure the other player doesn't get what he wants. So sometimes you can do hate drafting, sometimes you can strategize the number of turns. First I will pick this, then I will pick this, and you can count the number of turns that how you can commit. Now for two players, this adds a lot of back and forth, this hate drafting. So it's a very good two-player game as well, even though the game does support up to 4 players, but I do recommend that this is an ideal game for 2 because that adds a lot of strategy.
It's for 3 players.
No, we have one more. We have 4 players, but with 4 players, a little bit more randomness gets added. Why? Because you do not know after your turn, there are still 3 more players, so you do not know what's going to happen, what tiles they may pick up. You can think of something, but it becomes a little bit harder. But for 2 players, it's very vicious that which tiles get picked up. Now, let's go to the second half of the game. This is the first half where you get to draft the tiles. Second is now placement of the tiles on the pattern that's given on the board. So your contract is going to be that this is a set pattern that the king wants in his palace bathroom or whatever. And you will be shifting from your stock. Once you have a stock of that many tiles, you pick up the one tile from here and place it on that specific spot in that row, and the remaining will go to the discard. But this will only happen if you have completed a row. So for example, this will go, but since I have not completed this row, so I will not be scoring these 2 tiles in this round. I will have to complete this in the next round, and then only I can score. So as soon as a tile goes here, there is a scoring legend given at the bottom as well. You score 1 point for each tile that you place. But if you place a tile, so for example, so there is no adjacent tile here as well, but let's say my black was complete and I had to place adjacent to an existing tile from top to bottom, then I will count how many tiles it is touching horizontally or vertically. And even though I'm placing 1 tile, but that's how many score. All the adjacent tiles give you a score. So in this case, once my black moves here, it will, instead of giving me a single score, it will give me double the score. So if I had a red here, let's say in future turn, some red goes here. So red will be scoring 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So accordingly, you can actually score more than with a single tile if you plan that which tile you are going to complete first. So that's how, and this top part of the board is for that scoring, that how you're going to score. But this is not all the scoring. So on my turn, I did 2 score. You're going to then check your negative or fouls as well. So in my case, and as this foul counter goes up, the foul negative points increase in number as well. Alright. So as soon as that is done, at the bottom of your sheet, there is a quick legend given for scoring. So for each completed row, which will be just one player completing one row in the game, you will be getting an additional 2 points, so that player gets 2 points. Then for any vertically completed rows, so many players will try to complete vertical rows before they complete horizontal, will give you a +7 points. So at the end, you will be adding those scores that I completed 2 vertical before I completed my horizontal, or maybe the other player didn't even complete a horizontal line because it's only worth +2, but he did complete 3 vertical lines, so he will be getting 7 multiplied by 3, so maybe 21 points. Then for each set of colors that you complete on the board, so for each set means that for each color there are 5 spots on the given tile pattern. So if you complete 5, for example blue, if I complete the pattern for that, so if I had 5 tiles of the same color on my board, I will get an additional 10 points. So that's another thing players will be looking at, that they try to complete as many of the same color and they get additional points for that. And that's where the strategy lies in this game. And you will be continuing giving your score. Whoever gets the top score is the winner of the game. Now, as I said, I gave you my opinion on this game, that it is a very vicious game. You can, especially for 2 players, but even with other players, it's a very higher player count. It's a very fun game where there is some strategy, but it adds some randomness as well in the game. So Ishan, what do you think about the game? What do you like or what do you don't like about the game?
First, my rating. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Alright.
Ha, you're wrong. Well, technically, it's obvious. The design. The design is catchy, it's beautiful, I can stand any of it. And mostly because of the Great, I can't even say it.
Strategy.
Yes. Strategic?
Oh, okay. They understand.
That element. That one element, because it makes you think, and I'm that type of person who would rather play 1000 exits game for life than play a simple card game where you throw something in your face.
Alright. So, replayability wise, the game will be highly replayable because every time you're going to draft the tiles from the bag, they are going to be different. So the same kind of thing that you did last time may not be applicable this time. Plus, the board comes with 2 sides. One side gives you a set pattern that you want to make. Actually, I prefer that side to the other side, which does not have any pattern given. And how you play on this side is that you can make any pattern you want as long as you are following the same rules. That on this side, on your stock side, you are stocking with no colors being repeated, at least in that round, while that color is active before it transfers. So it gives you more flexibility. In the same row, the same color cannot appear twice. Now, that I will say is more advanced because many players will get stuck because they make such kind of patterns which will then not allow them to play tiles anymore and they made a blunder. So that's why it's advanced, but I like this side. It's more simple and gives a guideline to the people. And the game doesn't vary too much on each side, so I will still prefer this side anyway. Now, what I like most about this game is, of course, other than the strategic elements, which rows to complete first, do I want to complete the tiles, do I pick up more tiles this turn, or do I pick up one tile because that will let the tiles that I need go in the discard first, and once there are enough in the discard, I will pick up in one turn all the discarded tiles and complete my whole row in one turn. So there is a lot to think about in this game. But most of all, the best thing that I like in this game are these chunky tiles. Just holding them, making it, I don't know what this tactile feel gives. Just putting your hand in this bag and then rolling them around. I can do that all day.
I can do that for eternity.
You don't let me play the game. Just let me do this, and I will be happy. Oh, so good, so good. So, very cool abstract game. One of the best abstract games that exists out there. Absolutely love it. 9 out of 10 for me. So you should definitely play this game. Happy gaming!
Happy gaming!